Hi all, James here. In this video we get to unbox our first set of assembled PiTrac version 3 connector and strobe LED boards from PCBWay. I also wanted to share our experience on how it's been so far working with PCBWay. Before going further though, I wanted to send some big thank you shout outs to several folks who made this possible. First, Mark Harmon, who's been a contributor in the PiTrac project since the early days. He's the person who designed all of our connector boards, LED, strobe boards, and other parts, and of course he's been instrumental to PiTrac generally. Second, thank you also to @Pete on Discord, who got the first V3 connector board up and running and helped write the calibration software for it and figured out some bugs. And let's see, third, a huge shout out to @Galapago on Discord. In addition to all of his great innovations on the software side, he helped refactor the connector board calibration tool and integrate it seamlessly into the also awesome PiTrac UI that he designed. Finally, thank you to PCBWay, including Liam in the marketing department and Angel Yu and her colleagues in the sales support group. Now, as far as this video, as a preface, if you're not already familiar with them, PCBWay is a manufacturer of printed circuit boards and board assemblies, I think as well as some other things like 3D printing and CNC machining. And we have found that they cater pretty well to folks like us who are hobbyists and other people with projects that have sort of smaller volumes and more prototyping type needs. We are super happy to be working with PCBWay and thankful that they agreed to help PiTrac out. PCBWay gave us some pretty steep discounts for this set of boards, and we are very, very appreciative. Hopefully things like this video will help return the favor. And I should let everyone know that, despite their help, any reviews and feedback here are from my own experience, of course. So with that all said, let's start the unboxing. So obviously doing a unboxing video for this kind of thing is a little tongue-in-cheek, but the quality of the shipping and such and the way it's packed is pretty important to me, especially for this kind of thing where it's going internationally. And this looks pretty good. The box is solid. There's no skimping on the protective packaging, and everything looks pretty well secured. Seriously, I've gotten boxes from overseas in the past and, from various companies, and every so often there's like a single strip of tape holding the top together, where the tape is smaller than your average Band-Aid. Never understood that, but not the situation here. So let's check out the little LED strobe module first. All the parts here are in poly shipping bags, in bubble wrap, inside a foam pocket, inside a fairly decent box, which is all great. The strobe looks as expected. Everything seems pretty straight and secure. Same with the connector board. Just looking at this, the parts are pretty snugly down against the board. Soldering is way better than I could do. The back of the board has the pins and wires clipped clean. The solder joints themselves look pretty good. So, yay. Having someone else do the soldering on this stuff is really helpful given my shaky hands and lack of experience and skill, and so I'm pretty pleased with this. Since we're talking about shipping, I should note that we've spent as little as literally $2 in the US to get boards shipped to us from China in the past, when we didn't care about speed that much. Of course, the landscape with customs and tariffs and such in the US is, shall we say, a little different now. So ultimately for this order, especially since we had a little support, we decided to use what I think is a relatively new quick shipping option with PCBWay that takes care of the customs charges, so that you don't get the notification in the US from the border customs folks that you owe money on a shipment before they'll send it out, which speeds things along. In fact, here's a record of the shipping waypoints, and you can tell here it went pretty fast from China to Colorado here. It wasn't cheap. I think it was nearly $80 for both of these sets of board orders, but on the other hand, it took only a week to get here, so it might be an option for some folks depending on your budget. I wanted to point out that PCBWay has created a bunch of coupons for PiTrac. You can see here I'm actually retrieving one of these coupons, and the code is simply PiTrac. Please note, however, the coupon process in the PCBWay website can be a little non-intuitive. I screwed it up at least once, so please do check out the link here about how to use coupons. Otherwise, it's very easy to get to the end of the order process, and all of a sudden the shipment is on its way, and you've never gotten your coupon put into it. Fortunately, the folks at PCBWay were pretty patient with me and managed to unscrew me up after I had gotten myself to a point where I had already shipped the order with no coupon. I'll note that PCBWay has a shared project site in which we will eventually share the PiTrac boards as a sort of community project. This will be where folks can just click once to order either bare or fully assembled PiTrac PCB boards. We just want to make sure we've got the designs completely finalized and fully tested, and then we will post those here. With a little luck, hopefully we can give folks a discount for the boards through PCBWay as well. And while I'm at it, actually, here's my initial take on working with PCBWay. You probably know that I'm pretty new to outsourcing PCB work, and even with Mark Harmon's expert help, I'm still prone to creating some problems for myself. So having a good tech sales support group is pretty important to me, and the PCBWay folks have been absolutely super. I'm assuming this is what they do for everyone. You know, we were maybe slightly a special case, but it didn't seem that way when I was talking to the salespeople. They were just super patient, super informative, and anyway, just really pleased with that. Also, it's really easy to get a quote for a board. I'll show you that right now. You literally just take your Gerber files from KiCad or whatever it is you're using and just upload them into the website for an instant quote. It'll tell you, it will figure out the size of the board for you and some other things and give you a quote right then and there. At least for the board by itself, I think there's some additional time they need to figure out how much it would cost to assemble the board. And let's see, finally on PCBWay, I was really curious to see how the time zone difference and such would affect things. But everyone there has been really responsive, even when he had to change some things, and even when I pretty much completely screwed up one part of our initial order. And so the time zone change wasn't too bad. The problem is sometimes though you'll lose a day because you send your email too late for someone to pick up on their side, and then you don't get the email to the next day here. But that didn't seem to affect us much. So also the design intake system here was pretty easy to use, so that was appreciated. So all in all, we're real happy with our work with PCBWay, and that is the end of this video.